Welcome to episode 2 of CELPIP Listening at VLTS-CELPIP. In this episode, we're going to focus on listening part 4, 5, and 6. As you might have watched in our previous CELPIP Listening part 1, 2, and 3, listening part 1, listening to problem solving. In this section, you have 3 audio clips followed by 8 verbal questions that you have 8 minutes in total to finish. Listening part 2, listening to a daily live conversation. This section involves one audio clip lasting between 1.5 and 2 minutes. And you answer 5 verbal questions. Part 3, listening for information. You listen to a longer audio clip lasting between 2 and 2.5 minutes. Following this, you answer 6 verbal questions aimed at testing your ability to gather information from the dialogue. Now that we transition from parts 1, 2, 3 to the nuanced realm of parts 4, 5, and 6, let's prepare ourselves with some essential insights. Instructions. To gain a deeper understanding of the upcoming story, actively listen to the audio instructions while scanning the information provided on the page. In part 4, you'll listen to a news item. Listening part 4 is a single speaker news item that the speaker tells the news about everyday situations such as a local event where something unexpected happened or a new technology and how it can be helping in day-to-day life or an interesting encounter with animals. As you know, in news, the tone is formal and it's factual, descriptive, like a TV or radio news report. You have 5 minutes to listen to the audio and answer 5 questions. The questions in part 4 will appear at the same time as you see in this picture. And you have 3 minutes to finish these incomplete sentences with a drop down menus. So you need to be careful about the time. During the listening to the news item, you need to identify main ideas and key details while taking the notes. You have to be aware of the topic of the news report and understand what was the sequence of the events in this story. Also, try to find answers for 5WH questions like who was involved, what happened, when, where, and why this story happened. In part 4, the note taking strategy is completely different as you have one speaker talking about a story that other people might be involved. So, you need to first take note what was the topic and then put it in a sequential format. What happened first, who was involved, when did it happen, where did it happen, and why this happened. In part 4 of the listening, because it is a news report, you need to emphasize with the news report in order to find out what's the cause and effect relationship as described in the news and what's implied. Also, you need to understand what are the implications of the information presented in the story. In that way, you have a clear mind to find answers later. Before moving forward, I want to take a moment to applaud your commitment to mastering CELPIP listening alongside VLTS-CELPIP. Your decision to subscribe to our channel speaks volume, and I'm genuinely grateful for your active participation in our community. Part 5, you watch a video clip. So don't close your eyes to listen. You have to be meticulous while watching. There are 3 characters discussing on a topic for about 2 minutes. After watching video clip and listening to the conversation among 3 people in part 5, you come to a question screen with a drop-down menu for each question. You have 3 minutes to find answers for these 8 questions. So far you have devised a kind of strategies for yourself how to take notes of monologue Dialogue. Now there is a discussion or conversation between three people. So it means instead of having one column or two columns, now you have three columns for three different characters. So you need to be meticulous on what is being said and where you should put that information in your note. Also, don't forget to put arrows in between the columns to keep track of the information that is coming and going from one person to the other person in order to have a better understanding of the story set in the video clip. The last but not least, in part 6, which is known as the long run part, in this part, the speaker expresses two or more viewpoints. After that, you have 4 minutes to find answers for six incomplete sentences with the drop down menu of answers, meaning that you have 40 seconds time budget to find answers for each of these sentences to ace the test. As you know, CELPIP exam is designed in a way that this exam difficulty or question difficulty raises from part 1 to part 6. Now, in part 6, in order to ace the test and score higher, you need to be well prepared for part 6. In part 6, as you know, we have the monologue, and you need to know that the speaker is not going to use words for their first meaning. They say something, but they mean something else, and you have to be meticulous in choosing those words and meanings while taking notes. They also rephrase and paraphrase of the same ideas in order to hide and to challenge the learners. Also, your reasoning skills should be sharp enough to understand the ideas that are not explicitly expressed. This is why that CELPIP examiners are differentiating among test takers and candidates to score them. Because if this strategy was not devised, everyone could score this and we're at the same level. Can you imagine? So there is a team of researchers and examiners behind this strategy, and you just need to practice more and be consistent in your practices to get a good strategy and manipulate some parts and customize it to your level of proficiency, sometimes to your learning type. So at this time, your note taking strategy and skills come in handy, and you have to practice a lot to know where to take note and where not, which part is important, what I hear I should take note. You have to be careful of some words and phrases, as I said before. Thank you for watching so far. This is the end of CELPIP listening part 4, 5, and 6. If you found this information valuable, please feel free to share it with whoever you think they might need it for their CELPIP exam. See you in our next videos. Do not forget to subscribe for the upcoming contents. Until then.